Greetings. I am Camilla Hilario, and today I will be presenting the mathematics behind cryptocurrency. The rise of cryptocurrency in the 21st century is causing a movement towards this futuristic banking system, as traditional banks have many limitations that are currently hard to address. This way of thinking is especially highlighted after the economic crash in 2008, where even the most widely renowned traditional banks faced harsh drawbacks. This event showed people that traditional banking systems have difficulty properly securing funds and have other hindrances such as third-party involvement, which delays transactions significantly more than decentralized banking. As a result, Satoshi Nakamoto invented the first ever virtual asset called Bitcoin to fix these problems. With this, I will be defining cryptocurrency. Based on my research, cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. The word cryptocurrency is derived from the encryption techniques which are used to secure the network, which will be further expounded later in the video. There are many benefits to using cryptocurrency, which is why many people are starting to invest in this technology. Reasons to invest include the fact that the system exists outside the control of the governments and central authorities, as these digital assets are based on a network that is distributed across a large number of computers controlled by data miners. This is good because decentralized systems lessens the influences financial institutions have on your banking statements and allows for better portability, divisibility, inflation resistance, and transparency compared to traditional banking systems. To add on to that, multiple industries are moving towards this financial technology to run their businesses, including finance and law. One big example of this rising trend is when Elon Musk accepted the use of Bitcoin, which influenced other companies to do the same. Lastly, these influences are pushing up the stocks for cryptocurrencies, driving people to invest with the general market cap of cryptocurrencies being expected to hit 1,087.7 billion as soon as 2026. With this, here are some examples of the most popular cryptocurrencies being used. Now we will be moving on to the mathematics behind this technology. Public ledgers are used to keep track of the monetary gains and losses a person has in relation to others in the same ledger. The problem with these public ledgers is that people can write a transaction statement without the confirmation of one of the persons involved. So, for example, A can charge B 1,000 pesos without them knowing. This is why digital signatures exist. Digital signatures are added by users to a monetary transaction to confirm that they are aware and agree with the transaction made. The digital signature is used to prevent forgeries because of the public key and private key pairing. The public key is a code the user knows about and uses in their daily transactions, while the private key is a binary code generated for each and every transaction made. Digital signatures are safe because the hacker must figure out a specific 256-digit binary number to forge a person's financial accounts. The transactions made in the ledger is the currency used in cryptocurrency. This makes the handling of money more safe and secure because this system stops people with debt from making transactions that can cause financial issues to both them and the people they're trading money with. The ledger goes through the entire transaction history of the user before validating the transaction. And if the system notes that you have an inadequate amount of money, or more professionally, ledger dollars in the ledger, the trade is considered to be invalid. This removes the connection between the ledger and physical cash, which makes money exchanges easier with people simply sending and receiving money to each other without having to convert to cash. Cryptocurrencies do not rely on a centralized banking system, which is a financial institution that is responsible for overseeing the monetary system and policy of a nation or group of nations. Instead, all users have their own copy of the ledger, and when a person gains or loses money, it will be broadcast and be added to the personal ledger of each of the users. The problem is finding out what ledger is the definite one, as it is problematic to just listen out to these transactions and take a guess on what is right and wrong. The protocol is to rely on the ledger with the most computational work put into it using cryptographic hash functions. So as you can see, this is an example of a cryptographic hash function for a certain transaction. If one digit of the message is different from the original, the hash will be completely different, with a 2 raised to 256 chance to figure out the original hash, which will be used to validate the transaction. People responsible for validating these numbers are called data miners, who come from all parts of the world to continue the long validation process. The proof of work is the result of data miners going through billions of numbers to find the exact number that goes with a specific transaction made. Not only is the cracked transaction part of the proof of work, but also the entire list of transactions made by all users. So if one of the transactions is changed, then another proof of works needs to be made as the hash is changed and needs to be reverted to the original hash made. To put together all the elements of the cryptocurrency protocol, a blockchain needs to be made. Here, ledgers are organized into blocks with each block consisting of a list of transactions together with a proof of work, with, for example, a special number that starts with a bunch of zeros. The standard way these blocks are organized is that the block contains the hash of the previous block. That way, altering one of the blocks will change not only the block's hash, but also the ones in front of it. Since all of these blocks are connected together, the system is called a blockchain. To fix the alteration, data miners have to mine for a number that matches the special number previously mentioned, and when it is found, it will be put in the front to continue on with the chain. Data miners make a living out of finding the specific number for a block because they are given a block reward out of thin air for their efforts in continuing on with the system. The blockchain being maintained by the data miners is the original chain that all users should use for reference. So here's a visualization of the blockchain, and here is the summary of all the cryptocurrency components. Thank you for listening, and here are my sources.